All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about a company that's basically the secret engine of the global economy, but most people have never heard of it. Or if they have no idea what it actually does. That company is SAP. So let's just start with a big question, right? Think about any giant global company. I mean, we're talking hundreds of departments, thousands of employees, millions of transactions every single day. How on earth do they stop the whole thing from just collapsing into total chaos? Well, the idea, at least in theory, is pretty simple. You connect absolutely everything to one single central system. It becomes the one source of truth for the entire company. But look, to really get why this was such a game changer, you gotta understand what things were like before. We need to rewind to a time when giant corporations were basically flying blind. They were dealing with what we call the corporate black box.
Seriously, before these kinds of systems existed, businesses had no clue what was really going on inside. Every single department, sales, finance, the factory floor, HR, they all had their own separate software. And none of it talked to each other. We're talking about huge companies juggling like 200, 300, even 400 different IT systems. It was just a complete mess.
And this wasn't just, an inconvenience. This chaos had real bottom line costs. You couldn't see what was happening in your own supply chain. You couldn't even answer the most basic question, hey, are we actually making money on this product? When you're operating like that, there's no way you can grow or innovate. So the solution that finally came along was this totally revolutionary idea called enterprise resource planning. You probably know it as ERP. And the concept was wild for its time. One single piece of software running on one database to handle the whole shebang. Finance, manufacturing, HR, everything. Basically, one system to rule them all. And the company that just completely dominated this new world, the one that built the digital backbone for pretty much every major corporation you can think of, was SAP. So these guys started in Germany way back in '72. They grew steadily, their early software became a big deal in Europe, but their massive, massive break came from a global panic. You remember this? The Y2K bug. As everyone was freaking out about computers crashing at midnight, big companies had a choice. Spend a fortune trying to patch hundreds of old clunky systems, or just start over. And a whole lot of them realized it was actually cheaper to just rip everything out and put in one brand new Y2K compliant system. And guess who was waiting in the wings? Yep, SAP. That one event, the whole Y2K scare, just launched them into the stratosphere. By the early 2000s, SAP wasn't just a player, they were the player. They were the world leader in ERP software, with the biggest slice of the market, and pretty much every Fortune 500 company was running on their stuff. But here's the catch. Ripping out your old systems and installing a brand new digital nervous system for your entire company, well, it wasn't a walk in the park. It was incredibly, monstrously complicated, and it forced every single company to make this huge, often billion-dollar decision. And the choice was brutal. Do you go with option A, customization? This is where you change the software to match how your company already works. Sounds good, right? Except it's a technical nightmare, costs a fortune, and every single upgrade becomes a massive headache. Or do you go with option B, process redesign? This is where you change your company to match the software. It's way cheaper, it's faster, and you get to use industry best practices baked right in. The con? You have to retrain your entire company. And believe me, people do not like being told to change how they've done their jobs for years. And if you want a perfect example of this dilemma, check out this story about a brewery in Cyprus. First, they went the customization route. They wanted the new system to work exactly like their old one, so nobody had to be retrained. Well, 4 years and a whole lot of money later, nothing. The project was a total failure. So they changed course. They hired a new firm who came in and installed the standard off-the-shelf SAP system in just 6 months. No customizations at all. At first, the employees were furious. But after a few months, the brewery saw these massive jumps in efficiency. It worked. Okay, so let's fast forward to today. That basic problem, how do you manage all this complexity? It hasn't disappeared. But the tools to solve it, they're changing in a huge way. Now, SAP is diving headfirst into a new era, and it's all about AI. See, the game isn't just about having one giant ERP system anymore. The real magic, as one of their execs put it, is in the suite. Think of it as a whole family of smart, connected tools that work together. The goal now isn't just to gather data. It's to use AI and the cloud to predict what's coming next and give you real insights. So, what does this business AI actually do in the real world? Well, it's stuff like this. It can automatically generate a report for a manager that includes insights for a salary discussion. Or it can forecast which salespeople and which products are most likely to hit their targets. It can even analyze all your purchasing data to figure out the perfect price for something. It's all about baking that intelligence right into the day-to-day operations. And look, they're not trying to do this all on their own. They're building a kind of tech Avengers. They're teaming up with Google Cloud to use AI to predict supply chain problems before they happen. They're working with NVIDIA to create these insane digital twins, basically virtual copies of entire factories. They're even plugging their AI, Joule, directly into Microsoft 365 Copilot so the insights show up right where people are already working.
So think about that journey. We've gone from a corporate black box where nobody knew what was going on to an intelligent, predictive suite of tools that doesn't just tell you what happened, but tells you what's going to happen. It's a huge shift, and it leaves us with one heck of a question for the future. As AI starts making more and more of these core business decisions, what's left for human expertise and, our gut feelings?